Spotlight over the city, you guys. And guess what? We got us a +1 in the building today. This young lady is amazing. She's doing some amazing things. Wife, you going to introduce?
I am. I said a lot about her in the beginning, and I'm going to save some for later. But you know, whenever I see something like Excellence Brainery, I'm like, woo, that sounds super smart. And it's a black girl behind it. She is the founder of Excellence Brainery, y'all. Put your hands together for the lovely Linnita Hosten.
Hey, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Woo!
Yes. Thank you for being here.
I was really looking forward to today.
Well, you know what? We are looking forward to having you on here today, and thank you for being a part of Spotlight over the city.
Yes.
We
Thank
appreciate you much.
I feel like I'm at home.
That's-
You fed me and everything. You're already in my heart.
So guess who fed you today? What's our sponsor?
Chef Skip 202.
Man, with the bomb salmon bites and a whole nine, it was amazing. So thank you for being a part of this because we appreciate our guests and we try to treat you guys like royalty. So
Yeah,
this is what that's all about.
I feel real royal. Yeah.
Yay.
You should be. You black excellence. So let's
Black
get into it.
excellence, yes. And so again, I came across your name and the things that you do on LinkedIn. And I'm starting to be a little bit more aggressive now with my networking. And I'm like, I love networking with smart black women. And so I reached out to you just randomly, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And I said, hey, this is what I do and blah, 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 blah. And we got to emailing back and forth. And I said, you know what? I'd love to have you on this platform to talk more about, how your life took you down this road of, education. And one of the things you're doing that I'm really proud of is the program that you partner with Prince George's Community College. So we want to talk about that and you founding Excellence Brainery.
Absolutely.
So let's
Get
talk
into
about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Oh my goodness. So I was raised by two blue collar parents. My mom worked for Metro. She used to drive the Metro bus. My dad did cable. Sending me off to college was a big deal.
For them or you or both?
Both.
Both.
We were going
Okay.
on mustard seed faith. Don't even ask about the money part.
I love what you're saying already. Keep going. I like this.
So my dream was to be a journalist. I went to Towson University. When I graduated, I was able to negotiate my first salary in the middle of a recession. It was only based on my student leadership experience.
Wow.
And that changed the narrative for me about what college was about. It was more than the social aspect. It was more than degree obtainment. It was really about creating an ROI on your investment. So I wrote a book called The College Strategy. I started teaching kids how do you develop a strategic plan so that you can transition into your dream career and get paid what you're worth.
Yes.
And I was doing it for
love it.
black families locally. So I got picked up by a speakers agency. I went national. And I don't know, you know this in business, when you start to adapt, part of you changes a little bit. And I ventured away from what was near and dear to my heart, which is what we just talked about. And I adapted to a leadership model so I could be sellable to the college market.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I was in front of people who didn't look like me. I mean, Oregon, Washington State, places I ain't never been, never see a black person when I get out the airport. Nobody's in the airport, like that kind of city. But
I'm
was
loving
being
it.
paid very well.
Guess
it
making
was
room for you, right?
Not fulfilling.
Man.
So I was hired to do like a 60-minute keynote, a line, like at least an hour wait. People had questions like, what do I do? How do I devise a plan? And because I was in front of them, they were asking questions, I came up with the solution. I feel like at the high school level, there is a responsibility for us as parents to help our kids think strategically about their next steps before that happens. And so I wrote a curriculum. It was called the Dream Career Academy. So we were teaching high school students in 9th, 10th, 11th grade how to visualize, how to be courageous in their thoughts, how to voice those things to their parents, how to network, how to look at a job description and analyze the skill sets, look for internships related to that. And so I did that. I ran 6 cohorts, partnerships with different states across the country. And I had a light bulb moment because while I was working with students, they would come to the call and they all had this barrier. Well, my mom said, in my house, we don't talk about. So then I realized there was an untapped area, which was the parents. So I can't take the lid off of your child's ability to dream if your voice is louder than mine or if it's competing. If you're saying one thing which may be limiting their ability and their self-concept. And here I am amplifying excellence and possibilities. So I added the parents into the curriculum. So we start talking about how to have difficult conversations, how to look at your child's innate skills and abilities, how to assess their purpose, how to nurture that. And that's when you change the game. So
I believe so. I
Yeah.
believe that. So what I'm hearing from you is, with every narrative that you found the hole, you filled the gap yourself. Like you would see a need, and then you would make it your business. Literally, your
you're right
business.
about that. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is. It's God using you as a vessel to fulfill his purpose. But part of that is being innovative. I remember I took this marketing course when I was in my early 20s, and it said, sell them what they want, but give them what they need. That's literally what I do.
Sell them
Sell
what
them what they want,
But
but give them
what they
what
need.
they need. We can give a hand up for that right there. Just that's a mouthful. Just saying that. But I can tell that you God based. I can see the energy that you're coming from. So a lot of people don't want to add that publicly, or they don't want to say that. But when I hear people come on here, a lot of people come on here and we talk God business. So we like that because we don't leave that out. I always tell people that's how we got here.
Yep.
And so to hear you say that, I can see the movement is getting ready to
Yeah.
really be something phenomenal.
I'm
like,
so glad that you mentioned that, because when I was picked up by that agency, they asked me not to talk about my faith. And at that time, business was the most it ever been, even in the pandemic. People were paying full price for me to do virtual trainings, $5,000 to $8,000 for a 60-minute session. And they told me not to talk about my faith, and I had to choose if I was going to honor God and how he was opening doors for me, or if I was going to mute. And that was like, so to say that, yeah, there are some people who are given options, and I just choose, like, I just chose to do it anyway. So I get calls like, hey, we saw that post, could you take that down? Could you modify it? So, yeah.
But you
Wow.
keep choosing God over all of that, right?
And I find a way to tell his story, because that's the thing. You don't have to be so, I like plain language.
That's us.
So you all you have to do is just use the natural skill sets and language that God gave you. It doesn't have to be this.
But
thank you.
Exactly. But see, what I'm noticing is, so you didn't have to mention God to me. You show it in your energy. So
Yes.
this is what I'm an energy guy. So
Yes.
when you didn't have to be up here churching me to death and blah, blah, blah. We don't even do that on this platform. We would, but we don't, because we don't have to. We just display what God put inside of you and let it come out. So this is what I'm seeing, and the energy's amazing, and he's giving you these downloads to do all of these accolades that I see
And
written
that's
in here.
one of the other things, Linnita, that attracted me to you. I remember distinctly before we got off the phone, I think we were on the phone or on Zoom together.
Yeah.
You said, tell me a prayer. Oh, and I'm going to put it in my prayer box.
And I did.
You did?
I sure did. And I put the date behind it. Something that I started last year. I started a prayer jar, because I
prayer
wanted to
jar,
keep
that's
track
right.
jar.
of how God was answering prayers, not just for me, but everyone I was connected to, because I meet so many people. And it doesn't matter how I met you or what the circumstance is. We all are human and God's children.
Yes.
And so I started putting those prayer requests inside of a jar. Write the name on the name and the date on the back,
I
and
love it.
then I follow up to say, hey, how's it going? Did that prayer get answered?
So-
And that increases
love
my
it.
faith.
Beautiful
love
energy.
it.
So this is what I'm saying. You can display your ministry in your work, right? Like this is a part of our ministry, right? When I come on here, we pray before we start. We blah blah blah.
Yep,
So this
we
is a
did
part
pray.
of it, right? We make sure we let people see God in us, no
Yes.
matter what, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful to hear you say that, and that just shows me how far you're headed. And we always like to say, your talent can take you but so far, but only your character can keep you there, right? You gotta have character.
Yeah.
And so this is what I see. And in this program that you're speaking on, it's going to bless so many. Has already,
Continue
but it's definitely
to,
going to continue
yes.
to bless so
Thank
many.
you.
Yes,
So
her
we're
motto.
thankful.
Her motto is excellence in everything, every time.
Yep.
Excellence in everything, every time. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love
for
it.
sure.
So, is there anything that you want to share with our viewers and listeners about how they can, utilize your services, how people can participate in the amazing things that you're doing? Take it away.
Sure. Okay, so two things I would ask. So I started a scholarship fund for high school students. We were gifting away between $5,000 and $8,000 a year. And that's something that I want to pick up and continue. And so if you have an interest in devising a scholarship fund, or you have an interest in giving children who live in the DMV funding to go to school, I'd love for you to contact me. I'm on every platform, Linnita Hosten. You can find me. It's not hard. And the second thing I'll ask is that if you have a desire, I think there are people who are called to reach Gen Z. They're just people who are called to reach them. And how you treat them, how you speak about them, how you pray over them or for them They're just people who've been assigned to reach them. I'm that person. If you are that person, it's hard to find those. I would love to get connected to you so that I can kind of add you into some of the work that we'll be doing with various partnerships across the state. So those are my 2 calls of request. Last thing is, I do live stream every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. I'm on sabbatical right now. Actually, taking this request is in the middle of my sabbatical, so I'm offline.
So we're honored. We're honored.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. And being,
Absolutely. But
we
when I
needed this.
return, we will be every Tuesday at 8:30. You're welcome to join me live, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Okay, so what's that link
Yay.
again? How can it, like the IG? What's it?
Everything is Linnita Hosten,
Everything.
Linnita Hosten.
Got you. Got
Yay.
you.
Yes, y'all. Y'all give it up one last time for our newest Spotlight family members.
man.
Amazing. Linnita Hosten.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yes.
And that is Black excellence. You got
Yes.
you are exuding that all day, every day. So hopefully you guys link with her. Make sure you follow her, connect with her, get the blessings.
Get the
Get the blessings.
blessings. Thank you so much. And you're a Spotlight family, so anytime our platform can help what you're doing, the answer is yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back with our next guest, you all.
Spotlight over the city.